Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Gray's Mindset. The main focus of this podcast is to gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and thus gain the ability to mold and reshape ourselves into whoever we want to be. I look forward to growing with you, and I really hope you enjoy the podcast.
Hello, everybody. Today we are going to be talking about character permissions. And I do apologize. The audio will be a little bit lacking as I just don't have my normal equipment available, but I'm doing the best I can, so just bear with me, okay? I appreciate you. We're going to talk about character permissions today, and I think that's a pretty interesting topic. It's not something that I really hear people talk about a lot. Character permissions is just like it sounds. It's consciously giving your character permission. So what does that even mean? Each of us has multiple characters in life that we play. And a lot of the time, these characters are based on situations and were created from a need in life. So our focus today is we're really going to highlight those characters and bring them to light and talk about how we're going to be able to control those characters. So anyway, back to what I was saying. What are character permissions? A character is basically an alter ego that we have. It's kind of like when you're in a good mood, how do you behave? That's your character. When you're in a good mood, or when somebody does something for you and you feel like you want to do something back for them, you might play a certain type of character that embodies a certain type of energy and that has a certain type of thinking. And then that's who you are in that situation or in that moment or in that feeling. That's who you are. Okay. So reactively, who are you when a certain situation happens? So let's say something happens, right? And you're at work, and then somebody approaches you and you can tell that they just got this real stank energy. Like they just real aggressive with you. They're like, man, like blah, 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 blah. They're just taking it out on you for absolutely, no reason. Like as far as you can tell. For them, I'm sure they're perfectly justified. They got all the justifications in their head on the reason why, you deserve to be snapped at, So you're in this situation. I'm looking at it like energy. Like this person's coming at you and he's just firing off this very negative energy in your direction. So what do you do about that? Well, that's where your character comes in. All right. So reactively, you might feel that initial spike of adrenaline. Okay. And then once you feel that spike of adrenaline, then it will be very easy to react and to throw back that same type of energy that they're hitting you with. And that's literally just your character being reactive. You're not, in that situation, you are not giving your character permission. Your character is just reacting to the situation from a need. Okay? So if somebody were to come at me with that overly aggressive, negative energy, just firing it off at me, like I mentioned a little bit ago, then most of the time I would love it to be all of the time, but I'm not perfect. Most of the time I try to be humorous in those kind of situations. I try to de-escalate the situation, especially when I know that the situation is uncalled for and unnecessary. I try to be humorous. And if that's not what I can be in that moment, then I just remove myself. The self-talk in my head is more like, It's fine. This is not something that I'm required to deal with. Like, I wasn't put here on this earth to argue with you. Your problem doesn't need to become my problem. You want to be mad? Go be mad alone. I'm not going to be your company for your misery. No, that's not how this go. Not at all. So the character that I'm giving permission to in that scenario is my humorous side. I have a humorous character. And I'm telling, I'm talking to myself and I'm saying like, hey, so, I'm not literally talking to myself in that moment. You might have to in the beginning, but eventually you just know what character needs to come out in what situation. You don't have to like really think about it after you have that programming that's more installed in your brain. It's going to eventually become reactive. The whole point of giving the character permission is to get it to the point to where it can become reactive and you already have that installed. And then when you're in that situation, you automatically default to that specific character that you specified. So I just said a lot. Okay. So in that situation, my character is humorous and I know that I prefer this character because I prefer to de-escalate the situation and I don't want to embody your energy. I don't want to copy your energy and be the average of you. That's not what I want at all. So, yeah, I feel like we went over what is character permissions pretty well. I'm happy, with the explanation. So, going back in time, we really built these characters based on a need in life. And a lot of the time, these situations happen before we can really even remember. Like, we see a certain type of character from literal babyhood. Like, there's nothing we can do about that. We grow up with these characters. We're raised viewing these characters. And a lot of the time, we don't have the emotional defense to be able to differentiate what is right and what is wrong so early in life. So doing this, we accept what we see and we mimic and we copy. So we accept what we see. So we see mom arguing with dad. Let's say, dad didn't, do the dishes and whatever. And, mom is just like going over to snap. She's mad and she's going over there to snap at him. And you as a kid, you're seeing this. You're seeing, mom snap on dad feeling justified because he didn't do something. Well, because you're seeing it, now that child is learning this lesson. The child is looking like, hey, okay, so this is what you're supposed to do when somebody doesn't do something that you expect. And then you've just started building a character. Now you've just been taught what to do in a certain type of situation. And this is going to be something that sticks with you from whatever age that you saw it happen. And the more times that it happens, the stronger it gets reinforced in your head. An overly negative couple is going to really force in that energy into a child. Like, if you have a child, you're going to really force that stuff in, and traumatic things stick a lot easier than joyful things. So I like to really be careful on what I say. I try to choose my words very wisely and very intentionally. So how do we develop a character? A lot of what I see is the lack of motivation to want to change yourself. You accept yourself, right? And you love yourself, right? So you accept who you are for better or for worse. You accept the programming that was installed into you, and then you look at that as you. You are not your programming. You are you. You were not born with anger issues. You were not a mean mugging baby. You wasn't baby. You wasn't just out here as a baby, just looking people up and down like, what you doing on my block, fool? That's not what this is. You're not your programming. Your programming, that is, like I said, that is just a character that you play. That can be changed. Now, what I will say is who you are is in part a choice that you make. Not the actual programming, but the choice that comes before the programming. If I am a very positive person, this is how I identify. This is true. I love to look at myself as an optimist. I love to look at myself as a positive person. However, I chose to be a positive person. I made that choice for me. So I'm going to take the time to build this character up, to create this character, so I can then exude the kind of character that I'm telling you that I am. But looking under a different situation, maybe you haven't intentionally built yourself and you've had really bad examples on who to be. And you're just in autopilot and your programming is telling you to do some things that you don't want to do. What's going to happen is you're going to get a split divide in your mind. You're going to be tortured. You're going to be hurting and you're going to feel society is going to tell you that you're depressed. And nobody's going to be able to tell you why. That's because you're not living your truth. And don't get me wrong, I'm not speaking on depression. It's as far as actual depression, I don't know. Talk to a doctor. I'm just giving you things as I see it. So take it or leave it. I don't want to hear nobody complaining about me speaking about depression. All right? But yeah, you're going to get a split divide. You're doing something that you don't want to do in life. Let's say you are the type of man that hits women when you get mad. But then every time you do it, you look in the mirror ashamed of yourself. Like, why did I just do that? What's wrong with me? Oh, I got anger issues. Oh, like, I don't understand what's going on. Why did I? Okay. So what's happening? At some point in time, there was information downloaded into you from something you either experienced or observed that led to a certain habit. Your brain enforced that and set it as a learned lesson. This is not a requirement to be who you are. You could have just stumbled upon it, but that's not likely. That's not likely at all. You could start your own habit, your own bad habit intentionally, ignorantly, but I would hope not. You look at yourself in the mirror. Why did I hit this person? You reflect on yourself. You don't understand. You might be able to source where the habit came from, but you still don't know what you can do about it. Your body recognizes the habit even better than your mind is aware of it. So now this is a habit that's deeply ingrained into you. Not something you have to think about anymore because it's already a habit that has been built up. So what do you do about that? You take that same process, you flip it on its head. You look at yourself in the mirror. Be honest with yourself. Look, I'm going to pretend to be that guy. Hear me out for a second. I'm looking in the mirror. Okay, this is a problem. Hitting females is not something that I want to do. And I feel as if my anger is taking a hold of me. This is not the man that I want to be, and I need to make changes by all costs. How do we make these changes? Influence. My music needs to change. I need to have music that reflects the man that I'm becoming. The people that I'm around needs to change. I need to become the average of the person that doesn't feel like it's acceptable to hit women. I need to constantly be taking in information about anger management. Anything as far as information goes that's going to help me in that direction, that's what I need to be doing. I need to be exercising so I can control my mood, to regulate it. I need to be talking to myself in a different way. What do you want to do? Don't focus on what you did. What do you want to do? You be like, man, I got mad and then I did this. Okay. Now, when you get mad, what are you going to do? When I get mad, I'm going to take a deep breath. Okay. And I'm going to talk. Okay. I'm going to remove myself from the situation. I'm about to beat me some pillows. I don't care if I got to draw a little smiley face on it. It don't even matter. I understand that I have this aggressive energy inside of me, and I understand that it needs an outlet, but that doesn't mean that I need to take it out on another person, especially somebody that's important to you. Gain control of that character. You don't have to get rid of it completely, but use it at the appropriate times. Use it when it's needed. You already built the character. You might as well keep it on reserve until you need it for the time that you specify. Like to protect. You're a protector? Great. You built up a lot of energy. You have just taken something bad and you turned it into something very good. You have just taken something that hurts the people that you love into something that keeps the people that you love safe. That is self-love. That is self-appreciation. That's working with yourself. That's understanding yourself. That's repurposing yourself. All we need to do is understand who we are, what we are, and what we want to be, and start walking down that path and taking the necessary changes. We are not the product of our environment. We are whatever we say we are. But rather you let somebody tell you who you are and you actually abide by that is up to you. You want to be just like everybody else in your area. Where are their lives going? What are they doing? Look around you. Do you really want to be the average of them? If the answer is yes, then please do. But if you don't like what you see, then it's time to make a change. When you go into your growth, you're going to have growing pains. When you decide to start growing as a person, you will feel some pain mentally. It's not going to feel right. You're building up a character that feels unfamiliar. It's going to feel a little bit fake at first. But at the end of the day, you're going to believe who you say you are. You just need some time to get that enforced. So the you that you know, that's not the you that we're enforcing inside of us. That's not who we're saying we are. So I'm not saying I'm an angry guy, because that's the me that I know. That's the me that I exercised. I'm saying that I'm a protector, and that is the only time that side of me is going to come out. And this is true, because at the end of the day, I'm telling me what to do. I'm giving me directions. I'm directing my mind to yield a different result. To be honest, we can't all be strong enough for this process. Not all of us can go into something knowing that it's going to hurt, and it will hurt. But for those of us that can do it, it is so worth it. To be able to mold yourself into anybody you want to be. You only have one life. There is no point in living that life with regret. All right, that's all I got for you. Thank you for tuning in to Gray's Mindset. I hope you have a great day.